Alan Combs is the host of the Alan Combs Show and a Fox News contributor. Matt Schlapp is the chairman of the American Conservative Union, former White House political director under President George W. Bush. Guys, great to have you here. Alan, it was just days ago, the ABC poll gave Hillary Clinton a 12-point advantage. The NBC poll had Trump losing by 5 points. Now we're in a dead heat. What do you make of this?
I don't think you can go a lot by polls at this point. Also, I don't think you can go by one poll. The RCP, Real Clear Politics average, has a 6.2-point lead, 6.2 points for Hillary Clinton. And we haven't even had the conventions yet. And also, how many of those in the poll, as 1,000-something in the poll, are likely voters? So I think we have to kind of narrow it down to exactly who was asked and how accurate is that poll.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, Matt, Clinton is a heavy favorite when you break this down among African Americans, among women, among Hispanics, among young voters. You know, that's tough for Trump, isn't it? Because those are demographics that count come November.
You know, that's exactly right. I think when you look at the ballot test, the Trump versus Clinton numbers in all these polls, if I were on the candidate's campaign, I wouldn't worry so much about that as I would look at the demographic trends that you're bringing up in these polls that show weaknesses for both candidates. I'd also want to look at the attributes and what the campaign's all about. We all know what this campaign is about. It's an indictment of Washington. It's wanting to change the status quo. On those basic questions, that's what I'd focus on, and I give the advantage to Trump.
You know, Alan, a majority of Americans in this poll say both Clinton and Trump would not make good presidents. And in fact, their favorability ratings are very, very low. Unfavorability very, very high here. Is this sort of the lesser of two evils choice?
Someone said the evil of two lessers at one time.
Yeah, that would be true.
He's got higher unfavorabilities. And again, it's not only is it leaning voters or who are likely voters, but it's the swing states. It's all about the math. It's all about the electoral math in 4 or 5 swing states, and that's really where the election gets decided. So you can really narrow it down. If you want to look at who's likely to win, I think that's really where you have to look.
Matt, Trump vowed yesterday in his big speech on trade he's going to rip up the trade deals, impose punitive damages on China. Well, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which normally endorses Republican candidates, absolutely ripped into Trump, saying he's not only going to raise prices for consumers here in America, but it's going to cost, according to their estimate, 3.5 million jobs if Trump gets his way.
Yeah, you know, actually, I think the Chamber of Commerce coming out against Trump so aggressively, the fact that you have all of these Wall Street executives like Hank Paulson, who worked for President George W. Bush, endorsing Clinton, this all helps Trump. And the fact is this.
Really?
Free trade, it does, because he's taking these people on. And free trade, we all know, that's just a marketing term. These are contracts. And what Trump's trying to tell the world is that I'm going to negotiate these contracts, and I'm going to negotiate them a lot more aggressively with the American worker in mind. And I think that is popular, by the way, in both parties.
Well, you know, Trump yesterday talked about free trade. All of a sudden, they're supporting a guy who's the opposite.
I'm a free trader, but I don't think
he's not.
He's not saying that free trade is in of itself wrong. What he's saying is that many times the agreements don't take the American worker and put that worker in the primary position. They take other concerns like security
excise taxes. You're going to have the American consumer pay a lot more money.
I agree, and I'm not for it.
They're not going to be happy about that.
And by the way, Hillary Clinton isn't for it either.
You know, Matt,
she's for the excise taxes.
Trump was bemoaning in his speech yesterday Pittsburgh's losses in the steel industry, and they have actually lost 5,000 steel jobs. What he overlooked is they were very smart and transitioned to other more prosperous things. They added 66,000 healthcare jobs, and then that doesn't even consider the banking jobs that were added. Is that sort of lost on Trump, or does he know it, and he's trying to pull a fast one?
Look, we have to embrace innovation as a party, and the conservative needs to, and I think Trump needs to embrace it as well. The thing that he missed in that speech that I'd like him to focus on next is not just the question about there's weaknesses in these trade deals. It's also the fact that Hillary Clinton is against TPP, but she also said she's going to raise taxes on corporations. We have the highest income rates on corporations today. It's not going to help America to raise those taxes and drive more companies overseas.
We got to go. Out of time. But Matt Schlapp and Alan Combs.